It wasn't as if I couldn't hear anything. The silence I experienced was audible. My steps, pigeons, a door creaking, but heavily burdened with muteness, sounds that couldn't or refused to sound. It was the walking seminar's second day, meaning that the noise of machines at building sites and the strange buzzing of warning beeps in the tunnels were far behind, although I could still recall them. They were echoes, bouncing off my memory. A colleague who walked with us proposed to focus on sounds. She asked us to inspect, feel, think, and approach research questions through our ears, giving us a sound booklet with QR codes. My earphones temporarily muted the outside world.
Southern trees bear a strange fruit. Blood on the leaves and blood at the root. Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze. Strange fruit hanging from the poplar tree.
Walking, listening, and hearing the place made me think about how to approach silence anthropologically and what and where silence is. Our silence is absent or present? What is the relation between silence and absence? Does silence have an echo? Can we think of silence as a presence of absences? Silence as a refusal, resistance, suppression, shelter? What about its opposites? I couldn't embrace the notion of silence as the opposite of speech. Writing this essay, several threads came together, personal and professional, coincidental, fleeting, and casually connected. 5 of them surfaced. The book was here. A colleague of mine gave it to me just before we went on the walking seminar. A beautifully written book about the world crumbling apart, about the inventory of echoes, an archive of lost sounds and lost children. Reading it and later walking in Istri, my thoughts circulated the ideas of inventories of echoes, thinking about the stories gone or forgotten as if they never existed. Moments passed by, lives swallowed by the road, leaving behind emptiness. An archive is a place as well as an idea. It is an idea of the accumulation of historical records and materials for present and future use, selected by recognized experts and stored in specific places, called archives. What about counter-archive? Counter-archive finds its home in a place full of absences that are revealing themselves through ephemeral traces and in ever-changing situations. It is made up of things, contents, memories that have been intently or accidentally blocked, erased, and forgotten, evicted from the collective consciousness, or which only made it into the archives as pathology or unintelligible and excessive noise. What do we hear? You mean silence as an illusion? I refuse to believe that. What is sound anyway? Air as infrastructure. That's cool. What about echoes? I'm reading this book about a guy collecting echoes. Could this be possible? But what if air remembers in the same way as water does? Water does remember, right? What about echoes bouncing off my memory? Can we embrace the notion of infrastructure as an archive of absences? Roots as an archive of absences? Could that thought be specifically useful in understanding Istria and the Gulf of Trieste, strongly characterized by population movements, displacements, border changes, and its specific geolocation? Entering the tunnels near Divača, I expected silence. A deep, dark, earthy silence, at least in one part of our visit. Still, amid the mountain, I was surrounded by beeping and flickering lights with bright lines conjuring up the bubbly atmosphere of the day. Here, the silence was pierced by noise, the darkness with light. Could noise be the close cousin of silence, overshadowing, piercing, and comforting the world as silence does, as darkness does? Participant observation in anthropology is never static, as people more or less move all the time. And yet there are some practices and research subjects where walking seems particularly appropriate, such as pilgrimage, mobile practices of shepherds and livestock breeders, and even researching rivers. Could we think about walking with infrastructure similarly, even though infrastructure would probably be more accurately understood as a riverbed? What came out of this experience is the importance of focusing on multidimensional dynamic relations that couldn't be charted on a one-dimensional map. Through the prism of relationships, the archive of silences became an option. The one who tries to listen by passing through becomes an archivist.